And welcome to KET's News Quiz. I'm your host, Kelsey Starks. Congrats to all the college teams heading into the NCAA March Madness basketball tournament. That includes the University of Kentucky and Northern Kentucky University's men's team and the University of Louisville's women's team. Now, top of the morning to you. You may be celebrating an upcoming holiday by wearing green. And that brings us to our challenge question. St. Patrick's Day originated in which country? The holiday, celebrated on March 17th each year, is celebrated all over the world. You might know it as a day you see a lot of green, from parades, leprechauns, shamrocks, and even rivers dyed green to celebrate. But the holiday dates back to the 9th or 10th century. Do you know where it started? St. Patrick's Day originated in which country? We'll have that answer for you after the news. Weather continues to top our news with more precipitation battering the West Coast, particularly parts of California. California is one of our westernmost states and borders the Pacific Ocean. Oregon, Nevada, and Arizona also outline the state. Sacramento is California's capital. The National Weather Service says atmospheric rivers caused the heavy rains. An atmospheric river is a long, narrow region in the atmosphere, like a river in the sky, that carries water vapor from the tropics. When an atmospheric river hits the land, the water vapor is often released as heavy rain or snow. In California, those rains are melting the record snowfall that came the week before, triggering flash floods, which washed out roadways and knocked out power. President Joe Biden has declared a state of emergency for parts of the state. Meanwhile, the cleanup continues across parts of Kentucky after hurricane-force winds blew through on March 3rd. More than 500,000 people across Kentucky lost power when the windstorm snapped utility poles and blew down trees on power lines. Utility crews worked around the clock to restore power, repair lines, and rebuild networks after the power went out. Many of the linemen came from other states. The electricity companies work together, sending crews to areas when they are impacted by weather events or natural disasters. Crews from 11 different states came to help restore power in Kentucky. Time now for the first part of today's quiz. Questions 1 and 2 are about the weather out west. Question 1, locate California on the map. Is it at point A, B, or C? Question 2, California's weather emergency is blamed on atmospheric A, rivers, B, streams, or C, oceans. Questions 3 and 4 are about the cleanup in Kentucky. Question 3, the storm's biggest impact was from A, lightning, B, wind, or C, flooding. And question 4, hundreds of thousands of people in Kentucky were without A, power, B, food, or C, shelter. Back to the news. A 3D printed rocket is ready to launch into space. The rocket, made almost entirely of 3D printed parts, is the first of its kind to launch into space. It's a relatively small rocket. It won't be carrying any cargo or crew on board. It's a test to see how a 3D printed rocket holds up under real launch conditions and if it can actually make it to space. If it works, the company behind it says the new technology could revolutionize the space industry. Electronic vehicles are gaining ground on our roadways, but cold weather is still a challenge for their range of distance. More battery power is used when vehicles travel in colder temperatures, especially if you need to run the heat, defrost windows, or simply warm the engine. The batteries drain more quickly, meaning the vehicles can't travel as far. Automaking labs are working on chemistry changes that would boost battery life in frigid areas. Many expect there will be improvements in the next few years. And in Mexico, scientists are celebrating the birthday of a volcano. The Paracutin volcano is only 80 years old. Compared to some of the world's most well-known volcanoes, it's just a baby. Most are thousands of years old. But Paracutin formed and began erupting in 1943. It's known as a monogenetic volcano because it has only erupted one time, although that eruption lasted for 9 years. The eruption covered a nearby town in volcanic ash and lava. A buried church now serves as a tourist attraction for the area. The second part of today's quiz is brand new. Question 5 is a tech revolution. Most of the rocket parts were made by A, artificial intelligence, B, robots, or C, 3D printer. Question 6 is a race for power. Electronic vehicle batteries drain more quickly in A, rainstorms, B, cold temperatures, or C, deserts. And question 7 is an 80-year-old baby. Paracutin is a monogenetic A, volcano, B, fault line, or C, crater. Back to the news. Some students in Africa who have never had electricity or even seen a computer are now learning how to code. Most children who live in a remote part of northern Kenya are often taken out of school to help their families herd or tend to cattle. Because of a major drought there, many families are looking for new ways to make a living. A new school is teaching information and communication technology to about 200 students. A wildlife conservancy is providing tablets and internet connectivity to the school, which isn't connected to a power grid, and powers the tablets with solar energy. Barbie is celebrating girl power with a line of STEM dolls. British space scientist Dr. Maggie Adair-Pocock is the latest to be honored with a Barbie in her image on International Women's Day. The doll comes with a star-covered dress, purple-tinted dreadlocks, and a telescope. The space scientist is the latest in a range of STEM career dolls honoring trailblazers who encourage girls to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and math. The Barbie line also includes technology innovators, a doctor, an electrical engineer, and a marine researcher. And a new study at Queen Mary University in London, England, has caused quite a buzz. Scientists found that bumblebees can solve puzzles and pass those solutions along to others in their colony. One bumblebee was trained to push a tab which opened a door to reach a prize of sugar hidden inside a container. Other bees watched and were able to copy what the test bee did to also unlock the sugar. The scientists say this shows that bumblebees could be as intelligent as birds or even primates, although their brains are much smaller, just about the size of a pinhead. We'll use your much larger brains to figure out the final part of today's quiz. Question 8 is learning new things. The new school in Africa is teaching students A, cattle herding, B, computer coding, or C, puzzle solving. Question 9 is trailblazing. Dr. Maggie Adair-Pocock's STEM Barbie doll is a space scientist, B, chemist, or C, marine biologist. And question 10 is buzzing. The creatures tested for their puzzle-solving abilities were A, honeybees, B, hornets, or C, bumblebees. Now it's time to hear about the book characters that you would like to be. Let's take a look at more of your opinions. Nora from the 4th grade at Long Branch Elementary in Boone County, Kentucky says, the book that I choose is Magic Treehouse. I would be Annie because I love to explore. It would be fun to travel in a treehouse. It is so cool that they can pause time. Noor is a 6th grader at St. Joseph's School in Bowling Green, Kentucky, who is also looking for adventures. I'd love to be a character in the Land of Stories series because it's also action-packed and fast-paced. It would be so fun meeting so many different types of characters in a 300-page book. 4th grader Felicity from Pikeville Elementary in Pikeville, Kentucky wants to be a character that has become familiar to millions of us. I would be Hermione Granger in Harry Potter because she always has a plan to get anybody out of a situation, no matter what. Aubrey, a 6th grader at Central Preston Middle School in Kingwood, West Virginia, would like to be a character that travels. I would be in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. He is always going on trips and discovering new things. In my opinion, traveling around the world and getting to meet new people sounds amazing. And Dylan, who is in the 5th grade at Amesbury Middle School in Amesbury, Massachusetts, is looking toward the end of the world. I want to be in The Last Kids on Earth because I want to see what it was like to be in a zombie apocalypse. It would be cool to do whatever you want because there is no one that would stop you. That is true. What book has a character that inspires you? You can still send us your answers to our opinion question. Tell us, in which book would you like to be a character? Why would you choose that book? Send your letters to us via email at newsquiz@ket.org or use the form at ket.org/newsquiz. Be sure to include your name, grade, school, and teacher's name in your response. Okay, did you feel lucky answering our challenge question? Let's find out. Friday's holiday, St. Patrick's Day, originated in Ireland. The Irish have observed this day as a religious holiday for over 1,000 years. Irish immigrants to America in the mid-19th century made it popular here. In fact, many of the traditions like wearing green, eating corned beef, and parades all actually started in the United States. Today, more than 100 St. Patrick's Day parades are held across the United States. New York City and Boston are home to the largest celebrations. And here are the rest of today's answers. The answer to question 1 is B. California is located at B on the map. The answer to question 2 is A. Atmospheric rivers caused California's dangerous record rainfall. The answer to question 3 is B. Hurricane force winds made the biggest impact in the Kentucky storm. The answer to question 4 is A. Hundreds of thousands of people in Kentucky were without power after the storm. The answer to question 5 is C. Most of the rocket parts were made by a 3D printer. The answer to question 6 is B. Cold temperatures cause EV batteries to drain more quickly. The answer to question 7 is A. Paracutin is a monogenetic volcano. The answer to question 8 is B. The new African school is teaching students computer coding. The answer to question 9 is A. The new STEM Barbie doll is modeled after a space scientist. And the answer to question 10 is C. Bumblebees passed the puzzle-solving tests. And finally today, the colorful Holi Festival rings in the springtime for members of the Hindu faith. Holi celebrations include brightly colored parades where participants pass out sweet treats to the crowds. They also smear a rainbow of powders on each other's faces. Other fun gatherings include water balloons and squirt guns. Enjoy the new season. We'll see you here next week for more News Quiz. Bye.